You're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Green Bay Packers content. Created for the fans by the fans. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know whenever we go live. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Packers_access. Go Pack Go. Enjoy the show.
And we hadn't even went live yet, and it was already off the rails. What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. You can text us 865-658-5824. Join alongside Emilio and Tim. Emilio down here in a snowy Tennessee, and Tim up there in a balmy Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Got a little snow up here too.
There we go, man. I know it's pretty much hitting all over the country right now, and I'm just in heaven. There's no two ways about it. But let's do this. Let's give a quick shout out real quick. Gents, how we doing this evening? What's been going on in your all's world here?
Woke up to snow this morning, then 71 yesterday, woke up to snow this morning, and then by 2 in the afternoon, 1, 2 in the afternoon, it was all gone, and I was throwing mulch. So I'm back to it. It's just a normal day here in Tennessee, right?
Getting some of that Wisconsin style weather down there in Tennessee there.
Yeah, no wind chill though, Tim. I'll take it.
Oh yeah, no, it's brisk. We're looking at like 9 degrees or something tomorrow.
Matt was Matt was talking about it in his presser at the very end there. Dude asked him, am I supposed to dress warm for tomorrow? I would either way, but Matt said, we'll see. But if we do go inside, we're going to make it cold in there too for you. So it's cool that just fluctuate the temperature in there, get used to it. I mean, it's not, you can't just come out here in t-shirt and shorts and be, ready.
Yeah,
so we got to get
ready for Seattle, man. No joke, right? Tell the boys they better
sit your butt outside.
The only thing we're missing is like
no practicing inside the Hudson Center, man.
Yeah.
We got to do it outside.
All we need is a makeshift rain system in there, and we're good to go, Tim. We can just, and then we just practice. Yeah, there you go.
So
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Nor are we meteorologists, right? So Carly will be joining us here in a second. I know she's looking for the link right now. We just sent it over, Carly, if you can hear my voice. We sent it in that Twitter group. And just FYI, moving forward, if you just go to StreamYard and hit refresh, the new link will always be there. I've stopped sending it out in that regard. So you can find it there for sure. So we'll get her in here and get a PTA Fantasy League update and see how the standings look there. Before she gets in here, let's do this. Let's give a quick shout out to Robert, who texts me pretty frequently. And here's what he said. Hey, Clayton, I haven't heard this morning's show yet, so you might have gone over both of these. Clete Blakeman is the official for our game Sunday night. John Hussey is reffing the Bears Queens Monday night. Also, we will be wearing the winter warning unis Sunday night as well in Seattle. So obviously the same uni that we wore against the Houston Texans earlier this year at home, we're going to be wearing on the road in Seattle. I've seen that on Twitter, and I didn't know if it was official or not, but it sounds like that's picking up steam. I'm assuming maybe you guys can confirm that as well. Is that what y'all are hearing?
I did see something, so I'm assuming that, it might be a green light. I know the Packers social media team put a poll up, asking people to vote or like and retweet if you want them to wear the all whites again. And I'm assuming the fan base overwhelmingly said yes. Let's wear the icy whites. It's primetime game on the road. We wear white on the road anyway. Might as well do it one more time. Bring those unis out. But I'm more interested in the fact that this guy is going to be our ref. Here's the guy,
Clete Blakeman. Let's take a look at his stats, shall we, gents? Let's go. Let's just get down to the nitty gritty, and talk about the average flag count per game. And guys, we've got a new leader in the clubhouse, as Clete Blakeman is averaging the most penalties per game now.
Too old for this with the comment of the night. Is that John Malkovich?
Malkovich in the middle, right?
I love it.
Now, listen, we talked about Hussey last week. And, hey, he doesn't throw many flags. What was the big gripe in the Lions game? How many times he didn't throw a flag on the Lions, right? The Lions just kind of did what they wanted all night, punching Jordan Love in the face, grabbing Keyshawn Nixon by the collar. They didn't get called for the pick play. We did, right?
He didn't always seem to find the flag when he needed it to penalize us. It's strange.
Exactly. it's like if you had just looked at one side there, you'd say, okay, yeah, that's Hussey. He doesn't throw the flag much, but boy, he sure didn't mind throwing it on the Packers. That's for sure. In crucial situations too. So again, Clete Blakeman is the leader in the clubhouse here, guys, at averaging 15 and a half flags thrown per game. And when I say he, we're obviously talking about his staff, his crew, and he's going to be the head official for that crew. So look for some laundry there in Seattle come Sunday night. We're probably going to see it here with Mr. Clete Blakeman, man. So,
I like the picture. You can see he's stretching, getting the flag throwers ready. He's got his hands there. He might even have a flag in that hand already, ready to go. So
exactly.
Just warm.
All right, we got Carly Ray joining us now. Carly, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right. I love it. I'm loving the wallpaper background here. Loving the snow.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, it's awesome, and we're trying to match it up with Green Bay's weather. Obviously, we try not to do it if it's not really snowing up there. But Tim, I mean, you're there in town. It seems like every day we look up and there's at least a flurry going on in Green Bay. Right?
Yeah, it's been like that the past couple of days. Luckily, nothing super major yet, but of course that's on the way. We all know it.
Yeah, definitely. And Carly, I see you sent over the new standings just now, right? So I'll go ahead and pop that up on the screen so we can take a look.
Greg Rice said, "What a hussy." Respect Oranges says you can't call Carly that. So we are 2 for 2 with Respect Oranges trying to protect this chat over here and not get us in trouble.
How dare you?
When he's trying to protect things, we're in trouble. All right, let's just
Here's the guy.
So Carly, talk to us. It's been a little bit. I know you've been busy with the kids and everything. Tell us about the fantasy league. What's going on here?
Well, we are in the very last week before playoffs hit here, and we got strongly in first place. I think we will. Yeah, with the we got our first 5. Definitely have playoff secured. We got Lazy Pyro with Team Numbskulls in first place currently, but he's just one ahead of the second place pack at 11-3. We got Love Shack, Hunka Hunka Burn and Love, Chris with Airing It Out, and Trevor from Virginia, all really riding on Numbskull's heels here, trying to get in front of him. And since they're close on him or more in points, if they can win their next round, they will potentially secure that first round bye. Then
Playoffs?
awesome. Then we have Jordan T with the Immunizers with 9-5. He has also secured a playoff spot. Then in the hunt for the last playoff spot, we've got Jake with Jake G 126, Mike United Bates, and Chris with Chris N's team.
Wow.
So
We're going to give him some.
Trifecta right there, fighting for that last spot.
Next to Chris's logo, is that a nose emoji and a candy emoji? Unbelievable.
believe it.
You're gonna have to clean it up in there. You're gonna have to get these guys under control. All right.
I as commissioner, I am not controlling anything. I'm just got the boundaries, not controlling anything. They've got some wide.
No one else has a logo, but Chris has nose candy next to him. There he is. Anyway, I'm sorry. Carry on.
No, I love it. It's great. I never actually asked what that meant, and I was a little too afraid.
Please don't.
I'll leave it at that.
Not even worth it.
That's terrible.
So there you go with the standings. What do you think? This is the first year you've commissioned the league here, and obviously this is for the PTA, a Patreon group, and we're going to do this every year. Next year we'll probably have a couple of leagues, I would imagine. But what do you think about? What do you think about how the league's going right now? Anyway, as the guys, y'all better straighten up, right?
I just read AFAM's chat. I'm sorry.
Gosh, Charlie, go ahead. What do you think about running it so far this year? Has it been a good experience? I know you've been busy, but
No, it has been good. It's been interesting because there have been a few situations that have come up that I didn't really know, like that maybe the rules that were in place ahead of time didn't address. Like, for example, the guy in last place, Jordan Pack and Cheese, he
shout out.
He knew he wasn't going to get the playoffs, and so he wanted to be generous and he dropped his best players to let him hit the waiver wire.
Whoa.
So that other people could pick him up, which for some people that was not construed as a good thing. But here I am innocent thinking oh, that's nice of him. So that was really interesting. But
How dare you?
At the time of playoffs, all teams will be locked. They won't be able to drop, there won't be able to be collusion or anything like that at the time of playoffs. But prior to that, people can still drop players, which, I mean, picking up people in the waiver wire, I appreciated it. though I didn't get any of the really good ones. But as you can see, I'm still in almost last place.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
That is exactly my deal, because this next week I am up against United Bates playing spoiler for him. I'm trying to get into the compensatory. We have a compensatory quarterfinals. So that's what I'm trying to fight for. I just want to win one more game.
And we can't brush this under the rug here. Pack and Cheese creating some controversy in the inaugural PTA fantasy football.
Of course it's rigged. Of course, the first time we try to run a fantasy thing, it's rigged.
Unbelievable. like how Carly was like, he said, "Oh, that was nice of him." Everybody's going, "No, it's not." It's absolutely awesome. So good.
I want to see what you guys think. I want to see what you guys think of it, because I was trying to think of how to respond in the chat, but I guess my thing is if somebody, so if they're playing this as like actually gambling, not just having fun, right? Like I'm playing for fun. I don't gamble. Right. I pay. I don't really care. This is a good time. But if you're in other leagues and you're not going to, this one's a goner, you've lost, and you don't want to put more time into it, then isn't it better, if you're not going to set your lineup or do anything, is it better to let those players go to good teams than just them sitting there and kind of getting wasted? I mean, I guess I kind of see where he was coming from if you're looking at it from that point of view. But ideally, everybody would be in it for. That's why I made a compensatory like playoffs for all the lower seeds, just because I think it's still fun to keep on playing, even if you're not going to win.
Yeah, I could see how it could be viewed that way too. I really could, and there probably was no ill intention. But as we know, this stuff gets competitive, and really the only way, like you said, there's a waiver wire, I would imagine. So the worst teams, or maybe it's in a specific order, right, that they get to choose these players they can pick up. I'm not a fantasy guru. That's why I kind of let you take it over, and hey, you jump in both feet and kind of see how it goes this year. But it is funny. I've never heard of anyone dropping players like that. And I could see how some of the guys would be like, what in the world's going on? I love it. I absolutely love it. There's a little conflict. Y'all going to find out later that I'm actually packing cheese in there. Right? So anyway, is there anything else we want to hit on the fantasy front there? Any other statistics, anything that stood out to you before we let you go, or at least move on to the next segment here?
I was going to upload a screenshot of it, but last week was crazy. Josh Allen and then the Vikings, what's his name? I'm blanking on his name, the quarterback.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, they each got like 70 and 80 points respectively, and whoever has Josh Allen didn't actually win that matchup because of all of the other lineup. It was absolutely insane. I was watching it. It was crazy. Couldn't believe he lost it.
That is awesome. That's really good stuff. And it is pretty cool that if I'm looking at this correctly, the two players, Hunka Burning Love and CJN, they have scored the most points, but yet they're not in first place right now. I'm always fascinated by that it comes down to those weekly matchups, right? That's really, really cool. That determines your record. So it's going to be cool. Do we know the playoff format, like how many teams get in and that type of thing? Do we know how that works?
The playoffs?
Damn it.
The top 6 teams will get in. I believe the first seed will get a first round bye, and then the last 6 will, or not the last 6, but then the next 6, number 7 through 12 will get the compensatory class or the toilet bowl, so to speak. And right. there's no we couldn't decide on a punishment for last place. And throughout this whole season, I was really, really happy we didn't decide on a punishment, because I was staring it at the face thinking I was going to be the one having to do it. I have some ideas for next year if we want to, have some like more fun formats where we have some things set up ahead of time where you kind of join the league that you're most comfortable with, like if you want to do something like that. I
think that's
I've heard. So
that's good stuff though. I mean, and some of those bets, boy, they get out of control.
Mm-hmm.
You hear people having to shave their head and do everything. It's like, oh my God. But anyway, we appreciate the update for sure. Anything else you got?
No, it's been a lot of fun. I just want to say also thanks to everybody in the league for just putting up with my kind of just being new, first time being a commissioner and trying to be mostly hands off and letting everything roll out and not control stuff too much. We got some stuff to clean up for next year as far as like, are we going to be able to veto trades and things like that? I like to model it more after the NFL, where no NFL team asks another team their permission. If they're going to trade a player, they just go and do it. I think I like that way of doing it, but we'll kind of set some things up and look towards next year. But it's been a lot of fun. I'm excited. I'm going to try and through the playoffs. I want to do an update every week. I'm going to make it a priority to make it happen here.
That'd be great. Yeah. And we look forward to it. So awesome stuff. All right. We got a couple super chats to hear. You can hang out if you want. If you need to go, we completely understand too, whatever you'd like to do. So
I'd like to hang for a while.
All right, cool. When you do have to go, just go or hang out for the whole show. Let's go to the first super chat. We got Joseph in the house. Says, I appreciate you guys. Love your positive energy. Other podcasters have gotten so negative. I can appreciate keeping it real, but hey, we're not the Bears. Sheesh. This is a great team and organization. Go Pack, go. Yeah, Joseph. What we try to do, man, when we talk negative on here, right? And I appreciate the kind words for sure, and definitely the donation there. We talk negative, but we talk in a way that's like, hey, here's what happened. Why did it happen? Understanding it rather than just ranting and raving and stomping our feet going, this sucks, this team sucks, fire him, cut him, all that. It's all right. What exactly happened? Why did it happen? How do you fix it moving forward? And approach it that way rather than trying to sound like the smartest person in the room. That stuff drives me crazy, man. The I told you so from a negative standpoint, like trying to – people getting so excited over being right about something going wrong drives me insane, man. So it's just tough. So appreciate you, Joseph. Appreciate you so much, man. Super chat from Dan Mullen says, thank you so much, buddy. Says, I don't donate often, but I appreciate you all for not going on an online tirade telling people from the Midwest that they're soft, ignorant rubes. All right, there you go. So, yeah, you're not going to get that from us, I promise you. So, Dan, thank you so much for the super chat there, pal. So as we move forward here, I know we've got some other chats we'll hit on real quick, and then we'll move to kind of the topics tonight. Raider McCready in the chat says, don't forget to hit that like button on your way. And if you guys would take a quick second, hit that like button. We greatly appreciate it. 2-0 for this says Bates, just thinking about Bill Belichick coaching a school called UNC, LOL. You guys heard Bill Belichick is going to be coaching, pretty much running the entire university, it sounds like. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but the University of North Carolina is where Belichick's going to land. And the rumor is that he typed up a 400-page document and gave it to the university saying, this is how I'm going to run things, okay? You guys stay the heck out of the way, essentially. Wow. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know if there's any truth to this, but I heard a rumor that he was going to – one of the stipulations was his son, Steven, who is the defensive coordinator for Washington right now, I believe Washington Huskies, is going to be the coach in waiting. That's going to be a stipulation. So when Bill does decide to retire, if it's after 1 year, 2 years, his son takes over the program. So that was really interesting too. I'm sure people will hate that. But, again, that's huge news. 2-0 for this, bringing up that Belichick. Am I wrong here, guys? Did y'all see Bill Belichick coaching in college? I didn't see that one coming, man.
I didn't see that one coming, but I like Jason's comment. He just wanted to be closer to his girlfriend's dorm. Comment of the night. I love it.
The memes were out of control. Okay. If you could find the penguin meme, careful, but it made me laugh out loud. And I was leaving it at that. You'll know when you see it, you'll go, oh, that's the one Clayton was talking about. Unbelievably out of control. So
the only thing that I wasn't sure about was because Michael was always talking about like the GM, like, he's not going to take something like that. He wants to have full control of this, and that. And then it was move the sticks. I think Bucky was saying, he's gonna, or DJ was saying he's had full control of a team, controlling like GM operation, paying players, doing this, taking care of all those little things. That's what the NCAA is now, right? You got to worry about NIL deals. Players want to be paid. Belichick's already gone through all that. So that's where I think he's going to excel in it. And that's why they were talking like Nick Saban's got out of it and slipped away from it because he didn't want to deal with money. You got all these kids lining up to wanting to play football when he was coaching. And then now they're all lining up for money now.
Yeah. And it's so hard to build a culture when it's the top priority is money, right? It really is. So, 2-0 for this in the chat said Ryan Eckert is German for Eric Sutherland. So some guys are like, what the heck does that mean? Ryan Eckert was our latest winner, okay, in our last post-game show. He won an autographed Romeo Dobbs card. I have not heard from him. He is a real person or he stole someone's profile picture on YouTube, one of the two. So Ryan Eckert, please reach out as soon as possible. If we don't hear from you within 24 hours, because it's been over a week now, right? Or right at a week. Then Brambo would be the next winner. If we don't hear from Brambo, then it would be Jen Wright. So all three of you reach out.
None of them have reached out yet?
Nobody.
Not even Jen Wright or Brambo?
Oh, man, we better call Cleat.
Get him in here. So, again, all three of you, Ryan Eckert is the actual winner. If we don't hear from him within 24 hours, it'll go to Brambo. If we don't hear from Brambo in 48 hours, then we'll give it to Jen Wright. And if Jen Wright don't want it, I might just keep it myself. Let Brambo. Look at this.
There he
Here's
is.
the guy.
Brambo, what are you doing? Listen, okay, so here's the deal, Brambo. The autographed Romeo Dobbs card, okay?
I thought he was in here a lot. What's he doing?
I know it, yeah. Ryan, he said, I'm here.
Yeah, wait, pick me.
Ryan, he said, I know that guy. Ryan Eckert is the actual winner. I have not heard from him. Since I haven't heard from him, let's give it tonight. If we don't hear from him, you go ahead and shoot me a text, though, 865-658-5824, and that will be prepared. If we don't hear from Ryan by tomorrow morning, we'll go ahead and get your information and get that card sent out to you, okay? So, Brambo, you are the winner. So that has been claimed. That's great if we don't hear from Ryan Eckert. Now, this coming Sunday night post-game show, we're going to be giving away an autographed Lucas Van Ness jersey, okay? It's the green jersey. It's the Beckett style, obviously the home jersey. It's just like this one right here from pristineauctions.com.
Here's the guy.
So comes with a certificate of authenticity, all that good stuff. You got to be a member of one of the 3 tiers on Patreon or a YouTube member, not a subscriber, but a YouTube member, okay? And we'll put everybody's name on the Larry McCarron Pinky Wheel and spin that sucker at the post-game show, hopefully during a post-game show that was coming fresh off a dub, and we'll give away that jersey there. It's just a way for us to give back to those who are supporting the show. So glad we got that taken care of. Jake G126 with the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Says, thanks to Carly putting up with some of us. I like that he said that. Really competitive fantasy managers. 3-way race for that last playoff spot, man. That's exciting. That's really
Playoffs?
what I would like to see happen, Jake, if you could rally the guys up in our fantasy chat, maybe put your all's roster, that 3-way race there. You guys put your roster up. That'll give us kind of an idea of, hey, I know so-and-so.
Who am I looking out for? Yeah,
exactly. That type of thing. So that would be a lot of fun.
What are we working with, Bates? Put it in the chat, man. Let's go.
Exactly. So thank you so much for the super chat, Jake. You're the man, buddy. Let's see what else we had in the chat here. Prince, evening, gents. Welcome back. Musgrave, and farewell to Jonathan Ford. Kind of a mixed bag today. Yeah, I'm not as high on Jonathan Ford as others were. I don't know how you guys feel about him leaving, but obviously he goes to the Bears. Sucks for him, right? Did I understand that correctly? He did land with the Bears, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Saying. Yep.
So, I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? I'm not like, oh, man, this sucks. I feel like if he was a significant, role player on this team, then he would have been called up more than he has. How do you guys feel about it?
I would agree with that. I think it's exciting that we get to see some of these other guys on the D-line get some snaps now. Really, the big news is Musgrave coming back. That's a good sign, pointing our tight end room in the right direction. But I'm with you. I don't think Jonathan Ford was terrible, but I don't think we need to mourn the loss too much. Plus, guys hop from practice squad to practice squad at times. You never know. This time next year, he could be back in the mix with us. We don't know. So, we'll see how things go. Hopefully, Chicago doesn't ruin him like they ruin everyone else. And we wish him the best.
Exactly.
Yep. The only thing that bothers me is we carried him for so long, and I just feel like he didn't get a lot of playing time burn. Like, obviously, I guess it didn't crack out in practice and stuff, but if we were going to carry him that long, I'd like to at least get a couple reps.
Gotcha. To see what he could actually do in game time, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Elijah Gwynn in the chat says, what's up, PTA fam? Trying to join the live shows as much as possible. Usually listen to the podcast in the morning, but something about the live shows hits different. We appreciate that, Elijah. We have a lot of fun in here. Again, it's kind of ran by the fans. It can get out of control sometimes. We got to reel it in. But for the most part, it's a lot of fun for sure. 2-0 for this, says Elijah. I hope this chat tonight sucks more than usual just for you. In a good way, of course. So there you go. This show does suck. That seems to be the word on the street. United Bates says, hey, Elijah, live shows are great for the visual and chat. Glad you made it. And again, I know people on the podcast hear about us talking about the chat, and you'll hear us giggling about the chat. You just got to be in here to experience, because some things we cannot say over the air. I promise. That's why Carly disappeared for so long. She's like, I can't handle this anymore. 2-0 for this in the chat says, it's awesome that Mark Murphy's getting recognized at halftime coming up soon. They should make it to the Super Bowl. halftime show. I did not realize. Are they gonna honor him at one of the
They said
halftime?
this December 23rd game or
Yeah, that's the New Orleans game, I believe.
Yeah, I think Monday night. I think they're gonna do it that Monday night game.
That's awesome, dude. That's gonna be, again, you guys. I won't rehash it. I'm a big Mark Murphy fan. I just love everything that he represents, and I thought he's done a hell of a job. For
they're going to recognize his career and all that, and his retirement. And I mean, I think like you said, I think it's great. Under the lights too. I mean, that's beautiful.
And I'd say there's about a
65%. 65%. That's what
chance that there's some snow out there too. So it's absolutely perfect.
How fitting would that be, man?
Bucket now.
Let's go. All right, so Jacob Morley put a tweet out. Let's just kind of go around the Packers Twitter. Jacob Morley, you guys, I know you hear me talk about him all the time. I'm probably his biggest fan on Twitter, one of the best follows on Packers Twitter, at Jacob Morley. Jordan Love since the bye week, 59 of 88, completion percentage of 67%, adjusted completion percentage of 79.3. I think the Packers are third this year in drops, most drops, right? So adjusted completion percentage, 79.3. Yards, 904 yards. His yards per pass attempt is 10.3 yards per pass attempt. 6 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Turnover-worthy throws, only 2. NFL passer rating of 118.8. There's something about the Toyota-thon Jordan Love, boys, let me tell you. It's a real thing.
Yeah, he's back to himself, man. This is the J Money that we know and love and want to see, right? And I'm all for it. I don't care. Get hot as hell going into the end of the year, right? Let's storm into the playoffs again and screw somebody's season up. I'm totally with it. I love it. All we needed was a bye week,
Exactly.
Yeah, he tore it up last year at Toyotathon too. So we might as well. I mean, started each year in October. Maybe we could move it up a little bit, but I'm fine with it, man. He's absolutely cooking.
It's hilarious that Toyotathon is attached to Jordan Love. I just love it. That's great. Moving along here, Keyshawn Nixon getting a little bit of recognition this week as PFF Green Bay Packers tweeted out Keyshawn Nixon among cornerbacks in Week 14, 84.8 coverage grade, the second highest graded corner in the entire National Football League for Week 14. Again, you're seeing improvement with Keyshawn. This is probably is his best game of the year, but listen, he's gonna step back a little bit again. We're talking about how you see that improvement, just up and to the right. It's going to take time as he gets better. I love the fact that he's under contract for the next 2 years. Whether he goes back to the slot this week or not, I thought he's done a heck of a job out on the boundary. Carly, you got anything to add to Keyshawn Nixon? I don't know how much of the games you've gotten a chance to watch here lately with you being so busy, but Keyshawn Nixon, that last game with the pick and how he's playing, you got anything to add, anything we've covered so far?
I'm just really encouraged by his progress. He is, like you put there, he is a dog. He cares. He wants to go out there and give his all for the team. And that's what, even though he's, had up and down, and I really feel like this Jeff Hafley system is really benefiting him more, but it's not going to be an instantaneous change. It's going to take time. And I really like seeing Jeff Hafley recognize what he's good at and getting him in on it, and just seeing the guy bringing his heart to everything he's doing. Yeah.
And I know there's some people that are going to say, hey, it's just one game. But if you go back a couple of weeks, remember the punch out, right? Where he came all the way across the field, hustle play, plus the awareness to get that ball knocked out, forcing the fumble, and obviously the Packers recovering. Was that against the Dolphins? Am I thinking right? Was it the Dolphins?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think it was a Miami game, yep.
It seems like every week we're saying something about Keyshawn. He did something else, right? That's made a difference in the game. So I think it's just absolutely huge.
And moving to the boundary, I had real tempered expectations about him going out there thinking, oh boy, here we go. And he not only met expectations, but I think he's exceeding them right now. I mean, playing on the boundary about as good as any slot corner is capable of playing on the boundary. And I love to see it. And then of course, we've had to throw him back into the slot on some of those looks, and he's been able to handle that too. So I think, for all the people that thought we overpaid for a return guy, I think you're eating your words right now, because Keyshawn's earning that check every single week for sure.
Yeah, Matt was talking about him up in his game. It seems like each year he's gotten better at something. We were banking on him being the returner, and Matt said to his credit, he came in here, worked hard in the offseason, and got better at the corner position, and then allowing him to also be able to go inside and out. That's tough to do, and we're lucky that he's able to do that so fluidly without costing so much. Clayton's talked about the, strong, dominant eye and all those things. All that kind of goes to the wayside when you're flipping sides of nickel. Then you got, your outside one side. And so we're really lucky that he's been able to grow and help us in the corner room for sure.
Pretty refreshing to see a guy that's playing better after getting the bag, as they say. Usually we talk about players get paid and then they regress or they kind of fall off.
Tim, could you imagine
the opposite?
Could you imagine if he wasn't grading out like this right now? Like where would the fan base be? They'd be screaming. He hasn't gotten a chance to return any kicks. If he wasn't playing well right now, they would be lighting him up, I feel like.
Yep.
I don't want to pat you on the butt and you poop my hand. So
when we re-signed him earlier, this offseason, the first thing that I said was, hey, you're getting arguably the best returner in the game, and you're getting a pretty high floor for the cornerback room, right? Like if you go out and you draft a corner or two, and this is kind of, we're going back in time before the draft, or you sign a free agent corner and they start over Keyshawn, great, no problem. But you really love him as a backup, that backup veteran depth. And again, I'm with you, Emilio, like him playing that left cornerback position from the defensive perspective. There's something about it that it's really, really connected with him. Now, what sucks is, as you can see here, the injury report. Now, the whole injury report doesn't suck. It's actually a good injury report, in my opinion. But no surprise, it looks like Javon Bullard did not practice today, so he's probably going to be out for this game. I think we all kind of expected that. I imagine that Keyshawn Nixon is going to go back to the slot because Jair Alexander is going to be starting, right? So what you're going to have is obviously Jair Alexander starting at corner, and then it'll be probably Carrington Valentine and Eric Stokes on the opposite side rotating like we have seen. Keyshawn Nixon will go back to the slot unless maybe they surprise us and they throw Carrington in the slot or something. I don't anticipate that, though. I want to get your all's take on it. Now, the full injury report.
Throw Zane Anderson in the slot. Put him out there. Let's go.
Now that we know he's a real person, right? Bill Huber had tweeted out, Jair Alexander, Evan Williams, Romeo Dobbs, Corey Ballantyne, and Edgerrin Cooper are all practicing, okay? Javon Bullard is not, and Luke Musgrave has been designated for return. So within the next 3 weeks, it sounds like they can go ahead and put him in the active lineup, right? Is what it sounds like.
Man.
Musgrave.
More good news than bad news, I think, coming from practice today for sure.
Definitely, yeah. And we didn't expect Bullard to come back. I'm happy Luke's back. He was talking in his presser, just trying to get little goals, get to 20 miles an hour. He got there. I think he said he maxed at 22, but you can't get it all back in one day. And I'm sure he's itching to be back out there. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. And if Jair Alexander is going to play in this game, right, let's say he does, what you're judging is, okay, is it an upgrade losing Javon Bullard and picking up Jair Alexander? I think we would all agree, yes, it's a big upgrade, right? Yeah. So the defense should be significantly better with the moves that we're seeing here. Now, if Andrew Cooper's on the field too, it's going to be huge. So
right. And I think if Ja does come back, I think Keyshawn has to go to the slot just because they ask him to do a lot in there. I think you'd want to keep Carrington on the outside because he's not afraid to come down and stick his nose in a run. But I think that they asked the slot to do a little bit more. That's why Bullard was, I like Bullard in that because he can be a little bit more flexible. But I think he would tear it up in the slot if we asked him to.
I agree. I think that's the best chance to get your best guys on the field at the same time, right? You got John and Carrington Valentine on the outside and Keyshawn in the slot. That's a good look for sure.
Yeah. So if we take a look at the full injury report here, here's what we got. All right. Jair Alexander, full participation. Corey Ballantyne, limited with the knee. Javon Bullard did not participate. Edgerrin Cooper, limited with the hamstring. Romeo Dobbs, full participation. Although he's technically still in concussion protocol, I feel comfortable saying he will play this week, barring any setback. Travis Glover looks like he had an illness. He's limited. Isaiah McDuffie with the ankle, no surprise there. He's limited. They're still trying to nurse that thing back to 100%. Luke Musgrave with the ankle, limited. And I'm sure the stars simply mean, there it is, yeah. Designated to return from injured reserve, currently within the 21-day practice window. So any day now he could be activated. Might be this week, might be next week, could be the week after that. My guess is it's probably closer to that 21-day mark as opposed to this week. That's just me personally. I could be wrong, though. Josh Myers with the pectoral injury, he was full participation. LVM with the thumb, full participation. Rasheed Walker with the knee, full participation.
My knee.
And Evan Williams with the concussion was limited. So hopefully we can get Evan Williams back there on the field. The fact that he's practicing and you got the long week here. I think he'll probably be in the lineup too. I was kind of surprised that Romes didn't go last week. So I think you guys want to comment on there with the Packers side of the injury report.
I think it shows how serious that concussion was for Rome, for him to, be in the protocol this long and, practicing is part of the process. We were excited last week. He practiced. We thought, hey, this is, final stages of evaluation. Maybe we'll see him in the lineup, and he still didn't play. So hopefully this week we see Romeo Doubs, back in the lineup. And then the only other thing that stood out to me is Josh Myers with, the merry-go-round of injuries that, pick a week and he's got a different thing going on and still full participant at practice. We give Josh a lot of crap, but dude is really tough. It's a tough player, man. He's been fighting off injuries all year, and he's been available for the most part. So shout out to our center.
Yeah, for sure. Carly, you got anything to add to the injury report there? Anything at all?
I like what Tim said about the concussion, how serious it was, but also like how serious they're taking it, because you've seen guys go into concussion protocol and they're back a bit faster than maybe you think is like best for them. So I'm really glad they're just looking out for him and really holding him to it and giving him time to recover. Cause when you stack those on top of each other, how dangerous those can be. So I'm just glad to see that he's taking his time coming back, and I look forward to seeing him play.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So listen, there is a bunch of people on this Seattle Seahawks injury report. I'm not going to list them all off for time purposes, obviously, but we'll go with the ones that did not participate. Trey Brown, cornerback with a hammy, did not participate. You had Ernest Jones, the fourth, knee/NIR rest, did not participate. Tyler Lockett, wide receiver, veteran rest. So both those guys probably be good to go. They did not participate. Boye Mafe, linebacker, another veteran rest. Then you had Jaron Reed with veteran rest. They got a lot of veterans resting over there, man. They got a little daycare center or something going on.
That's former Packer Jaron Reed there?
That is, sir.
Yeah, went back to his old team.
Yeah.
Jarek Reed, not to be confused with Jaron Reed. I don't think they're cousins or anything. Quadricep did not participate. All right. And then you had another veteran rest, Laken Tomlinson. What are they running over there, guys? My God, old folks home did not participate. And then you got Kenneth Walker, the third running back, did not participate with the calf injury. What's that one's name, Carly? I got to know.
We got a new cat. His name's Simon.
What's up?
Nice.
That's a handsome devil right there. Look at that guy.
Yeah, he wants to say hi.
Kenneth Walker with the calf did not participate. Then Leonard Williams, defensive end, did not participate. Is there another one underneath that ticker, Tim? I can't tell. Can you drop that down for me real quick?
Yeah, let me
We're
grab
not missing anybody. All right, we're good. Okay.
Sorry about that.
We did it perfect. All right. So, Leonard Williams is a big one, too. Now it says foot plus NIR rest. So, I mean, a majority of those being veteran rest are probably going to be back. You got a number of limited ones, too. Michael Dixon, the punter, he was limited. And then you had, was there another limited? Brady Russell tied in with the foot was limited as well. So it looks like a big list, but I feel like the majority of those guys are probably going to be out there on Sunday. You guys agree with that?
Right. Yeah, I think so. It kind of looks like a lot of veteran rest there that they're just trying to get him through to the end of the season, trying to make sure that playoff run doesn't get too hindered by injuries.
Yeah, yep, for sure. All right, so since we're speaking of injuries, and obviously we just talked about our boy Luke Musgrave, here's a quick shot that Matt Schneidman put out on Twitter of him just kind of going through some drills over there at a chilly Ray Nitschke field outside as they're getting some practice in. It says Luke Musgrave is practicing for the first time since week 4, had ankle surgery this season, now designated to return off of IR. Also,
Musgrave stayed on his feet.
We already talked about the players that are practicing this week. Obviously with Jair, Romeo Doubs, Edgerrin Cooper, Evan Williams, and Corey Ballantyne. But Musgrave, it's hard to tell a whole lot here, but it is nice to see him out there in shells and actually going through some of the drills. It looks good from everything we can see right here, right?
Yep.
Yeah, especially being able to cut on an ankle. I mean, I didn't have an ankle surgery; I had knee surgery, but still, you get that feeling. And coming back same season, that's huge. That's awesome to see. He was talking about how he didn't think he needed surgery, but he got it off recommendation, and he didn't even think it was that bad when he came back into the game. So I'm glad he's doing good.
Yeah, it's all about trusting it too, right? You got to get your legs back underneath you and trust
Big
that
mental
ankle.
hurdle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I know people get really excited, potential of Musgrave coming back. And I know there's some people that are like, hey, he wasn't that good before he got hurt. It's kind of a mixed bag for me. We've seen where he can be good. We've seen his deficiencies too. Look, he's not as good a blocker as Tucker Kraft, but he is one of those guys that can stretch the field vertically. There's no two ways about that. So one thing from a strategic standpoint that I keep thinking of, and I could be completely off base, you guys tell me if you think I am. When we show 12 personnel, we've been marching Tucker Kraft and Ben Sims out there. And there's been a lot of attached looks, right? So now what if we start showing 12 personnel and all of a sudden Musgrave, when he is healthy, you're flexing him out wide. You've seen a little bit of that with Tucker Kraft. But imagine throwing him in the slot and really throwing them off kilt where, okay, we come out in a 12 personnel, but Musgrave's in the slot flexed out, Tucker's still attached, and they're matching it with a base defense. Now you got to walk a linebacker out there on Musgrave. That could create a little bit of a mismatch. Now, the downside of that, too, is obviously we're kidding ourselves if we think there's not going to be some rust attached with Musgrave, right? The fact that he hasn't played. What week was it? 4? Week 4? That's how long he's been out, right? So going to be interesting. I will tell you this, though, man. With every adversity lies a seed of equal or greater benefit. Tucker Kraft, man, he maximized that opportunity with Musgrave being out. And that dude is a legit number one tight end. That's one positive that's definitely come out of this whole situation,
Positive. Yeah. Well, after you saying that got me thinking, Clay, the Lions came out in that base 3-4, right? And they were heavy. But if we could come out in our 12 with a wide receiver type tight end, maybe that helps us start out in that tight formation, shift to flex out and, work it from there. I think that would be cool. Having 2 big receiving threats at tight end would be nice. Maybe put them more in a bind. Just not a knock against Ben Sims. We're not expecting him to go run a 9 or a post or something. So I think that, having Musgrave out there, even if we are going up against base, would definitely help him.
Yeah, for sure. All right. That's going to do it for hour 1. For those of you listening on the pod, we will see you on the other side for hour 2. We appreciate y'all.